but no, I do love a fry-up. And I'm not bad at making them, you know. I'm not that good at other things. You know, other meals. But I'll tell you what. I would make a beautiful fry-up. What, this one time, I, Barry Gammon, was on Ready Steady Cook, and I made a fry-up. Did I take into account Ainsley's egg allergy? Well, if he had an egg allergy, he was certainly a sport about it. He didn't mention it. And for those of you who aren't aware, it's a cooking show in the UK. You start off with several ingredients, and you tell Ainsley Harriott, who's the host of the show, I'm going to be using these ingredients and I'm going to be making this. And there's two teams. You've got your red peppers and your green peppers. Right, so I was a green pepper, and the person I was against, because it is a competition, was the red pepper. We'd go into the BBC studios, or yeah, it was BBC, wasn't it? It was so long ago I can barely remember. We went into the TV studio, right, where they film it, and you've got to be there about like a few hours before, because they've got to set up, got to go through how everything's done. So there I was. I get to meet Ainsley Harriott, lovely bloke, good laugh, nice chap, not like Roy Walker, but we've already talked about him. Come to think of it, I've met quite a few 90s TV presenters now that I come to think of it. Very lucky man, I guess. But anyway, there I am at the studios, Ainsley Harriott's there, and I meet the person that I'm up against. So I figured, oh well, to be friendly, I go up to him, put my hand out to shake it. I was like, hi there, my name's Barry, I'm gonna be green pepper. Puts his hand out, right, to shake, and then he goes, hoobity-boo, hoobity-boo. I was like, what? Hoobity-boo, what are you talking about? He starts laughing, right, starts rubbing his knob. Like he's got like his trousers on, but he starts rubbing his knob like from the outside of his trousers. And he's looking at me while he's doing it. I was like, cut that out, mate, come on. But he keeps doing it, so I felt awkward, so I just walked away. Started talking to all the other people that are working there. You know, the camera operators, producers and all that. You know, walking around for about 20 minutes, half an hour. And I look across the other end of the studio, right, and he's still there. Rubbing his crotch, looking at the green peppers and the red peppers. And I said to one of the members of staff, I was like, have you seen what he's doing? And they're like, just ignore it, just leave it, all right? I was like, well leave it. I mean, it's a bit odd, isn't it? And they're like, look, we're aware of it. We know what's going on. Don't say anything more about it, all right? Just leave it. So, well, that's very mysterious. I was like, well, it's not going to have an impact on the show tonight, is it? Because I was quite looking forward to being on Ready Steady Cook. And they were like, it won't have an impact on the show. We got people that are keeping an eye on him. I was like, well, who is he? Why would you let someone like this on TV? They were like, look, just trust us, just leave it, all right? Exactly, Jack. Classic BBC. Knowing all about it and doing nothing. So I said to them, fair enough. Went to my dressing room. I'm in there getting ready. Bit nervous. So I think, well, I'm meant to be competing against this guy. I'll extend another olive branch to see if he takes it, right? I go in there, I knock on his door to his dressing room. I was like, alright mate, are you in there? His name was Tommy. I was like, Tommy, are you in there? I thought I heard something. So I opened the door, stark bollock naked, right? Looking at the mirror, having a wank. I said, what the, Tommy, what the hell are you doing? And he starts chanting, Tommy Tank, have a wank, Tommy Tank, have a wank, like that. So I said, right, I'll leave you to it. Close the door. I mean, I'm speechless. So I go up to one of the runners, like who's working on the TV show, and I said to them, look, I don't think Tommy is all there. I just walked in to say hello to him, and he's in there looking in the mirror, having a wank, chanting, Tommy Tank, have a wank to himself. You know, I mean, it's not on. I mean, he's clearly not all there. And then again, the people working there were just like, look, we know what's going on. Just leave it, right? Just ignore it. It's not going to have an impact on the on the show tonight. And I said, well, are you sure? Can you guarantee me that? Because it certainly looks like it could have an impact on the show. You know, I was talking till I was blue in the face. They said, no, look, you'll be all right. It'll be fine. I went back to my dressing room, waited around for another hour. Then they called us in. They said, right, we need you on set now. Barry, could you go get Tommy? I walk in to get Tommy. He's only still stood there wanking, right? And there's spunk all over the dressing room, right? So he must have, you know... Hold on, which way am I going? So, you know, he must have jizzed everywhere, right? And then just again and again, because it was all in different spots. I was like, you better have got all of that out of yourself now, because if you do that on the TV, my God. So I said, look, they need us now, so put some fucking clothes on, will you? He puts his clothes on, we get out there. I'm standing at the green pepper, he's standing at the red pepper. There we are, live studio audience. Right, I'm a bit nervous, but I'm confident because I've got the ingredients for my fry-up, which, as I've mentioned, I'm a master at making. So I was like, there's no way that I could lose with these ingredients. The show starts. Ainsley Harriott comes out, does all of his patter, gets the crowd going, everyone's laughing and in high spirits. Tommy, right, at the red pepper, cool as a cucumber, not doing anything weird, dressed normally, right, not playing up. Like, to look at him, you wouldn't think that he was only moments ago wanking in a dressing room. Seemed like a normal member of society. I looked over at the people behind the cameras. They noticed that I'd kind of spotted that he was acting normally. They went like that. I gave him a thumbs up as well. I was like, all right, there aren't going to be any issues. Good. Ainsley Harriott calls us up to the centre of the stage. We introduce ourselves. Again, Tommy, acting completely normal. We go over to each of our stations, because this is the point in the show where we kind of show off our ingredients for the meal that we're going to be making. So I show them, I'm like, look, it's sausages, egg, bacon, toast, hash browns, and I said to Ainsley, this is going to be the best fry-up you've ever had, Ainsley Harriott. The crowd went, oh, like that. Then he goes, oh, well, I'll be the judge of that. And everyone laughed, because he's a judge pretty much on the show. Then we go over to Tommy's table. Ainsley's like, right, well, what ingredients have you got here then, Tommy? Sausages, chipolatas, like the kind of big, the butchers, like salami, hot dogs, right? All that sort of shape and type of food. And I'm thinking to myself, right, this is a bit weird. You know, I look over at the people behind the cameras again, and I'm just kind of going, are you sure he's going to be all right? And they nodded and gave me a thumbs up. And Tommy said, I'm going to be making sausage surprise. And then Ainsley Harriott goes, fair enough. You've got 15 minutes or however long it was. Your time starts now. So then we're cooking, we're preparing. You know, I'm sweating, doing the best that I possibly can with this meal. You know, the eggs cooked to perfection, the bacon just the right amount of crisp. I even threw in some bog beans for the extra flavour, and plus my boss said that if I used bog beans I'd get an extra £100 in my pay packet. So anyway, the timer runs out and I've got a meal. Ainsley Harriott comes over to me first and he's like, right, let's have a look at this then, Barry. He goes, oh well, it certainly smells very nice. But does it taste nice, Barry? That's the question. Does it taste nice? And then he gets his fork, right, and he tries some of the fry-up that I've made. And you know, Ainsley Harry is practically a Michelin star chef. You know, if you want a thumbs up from anyone in the cooking world, it's Ainsley Harriott. You know, everyone knows this. So he gets his fork, has a bite, and he goes, Barry, you said that this was going to be the best fry-up that I've ever had. And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, well, you know what, Barry? It might just be. Audience is applauding. I can't believe how happy I am. Never been so happy. I was like, coming from your Ainsley area, that means a lot. He's like, well, we're not out of the woods yet because Tommy might pull it off with his sausage surprise. So then we go over to Tommy's table. Now what Tommy's got, he's cooked all of these sausages that he had, right? In a long row. They're like on a tray, all across like that, different shapes and sizes, right? And he's put like a curtain hanging over part of them, right, just at his torso. And so Ainsley Harriott comes over and he goes, right, now this is very elaborate, Tommy. Do you want to explain? And he said, yeah, the curtain is for decoration, for some added showmanship. He's like, right, okay. So let's have a taste. And he gets his knife and fork. And then Tommy says to him, look, really, these sausages are best kind of like tasted without a knife and fork, because the metal. Oh dear. The metal from the knife and fork. Hang on, I just need a quick drink. That'll sort me out. Oh, very nice. Yeah, so then he says, now the metal from the knife and fork, right, it kind of has a negative impact on the flavour of these sausages. And so Ainsley Harriott goes, okay, well that's very interesting. So what do you suggest then, Tommy? Tommy says, now if you lean down to each of the sausages and kind of don't tear them off with your teeth, but just kind of put your mouth around the end of it. And now at this point, red flags are going up in my head. I look over at the people behind the camera as if to say, you are going to want to shut this off right now. I say, I can see where this is going. And I'll tell you where it's not going. It's not going on the BBC at 5 o'clock in the fucking afternoon. No chance. They go, as if to say there's nothing I can do about it. It's not like we work here or anything. So Ainsley Harriott goes, okay, well if that's what you want, Tommy, let's see if you pulled it off. And I'm sat there thinking, someone's going to pull something off in a minute. Ainsley Harriott, the poor man, you know, he works hard, he's good at what he does, he puts the effort in, and this is how people treat him. He's bending down over the table, right, sucking each of the sausages, moving up to the bigger ones, right, And he goes, oh, this one's very flavourful. Like that, and I'm just thinking, Jesus Christ. I don't know what to say, I'm thinking to myself. So he goes through all the sausages, right? Sucking the ends of them. Then Ainsley goes, you know what, they were very nice. I think I might have a second helping. I'm like, oh, fucking hell. Ainsley, mate, no, what are you doing? Goes through them all again, starts licking the ends of all of them. And then he goes, well, Tommy, they're very nice sausages. But where's the surprise? I thought you said this was a sausage surprise. Tommy goes, you want the surprise? Whole studio audience goes, yeah, we want the surprise. He's like, you want the surprise, Ainsley? Ainsley Harriott goes, give it to me, Tommy. I want the surprise. Pulls the curtain up from his torso. Right? You can probably see where this is going. One of the sausages was his knob. And he comes right in Ainsley Harriott's eyes. Whole audience is shocked. Ainsley Harriott's covering both of his eyes going, I can't see, I can't see. Tommy goes, there's the surprise. Security come over and pin him to the ground. I go over with a wet wipe and start wiping Ainsley Harriott's eyes. I was like, you're right, Ainsley. He's like, I can't see anything. I felt so bad for that man. It's given the British people so much entertainment. Ready, steady, cock. It was that day. Jarvis says, did they air this? No, they didn't. What happened, right? There was an inquiry. I was a witness. I had to go on fucking trial. 4 months. 4 months this thing went on for. The tape was used as evidence. I mean, I don't know why it went on for 4 months. There were about 500 witnesses, and it was filmed. But they need to justify their wage, don't they? Fucking lawyers and judges and all that. So I had to stand there and testify against Tommy Tank having a wank in Ainsley Harriott's eyes. Which, now that I say that, could be a nursery rhyme. Although not a very pleasant one. And, I mean, it was really covered up, this whole event. Which is probably why you've never heard of it. You know, the BBC, they are so good. They are so good at hiding stuff. Ainsley Harriott, he was blind for 12 months. What happened was that the spunk in his eyes hardened, and he had to have... He had about 15 operations, right, over the course of like 12 months. With every operation, they'd chip a little bit more spunk out of his eyes. You know, very delicate operation. And do you want to know what the sad thing is? Tommy ended up getting off. And he got off twice technically. He got off on Ainsley Harriott's face, and then he got let off. Got to the end of the trial after 4 fucking months. They said, we find the defendant Tommy not guilty. I was like, you were joking. There were 500 witnesses and it was filmed. And the technicality, right? Technicality was Mr. Harriott, because he is not able to see at this present time, he is not able to point out who the assailant was. I was like, the assailant? It's right there. I can tell you that. Everyone else in here can tell you that. The video evidence can tell you that. And the judge said, yes, but if the victim themselves are not able to identify the perpetrator, then there is no case. I was like, that doesn't sound right at all. He says, well, I'm the judge. Bangs his hammer, like Holmes under the hammer. And that's the end of the trial. We were all out on the court steps, like the end of fucking 12 Angry Men. And there were more than 12 angry men that day, I'll tell you that. And I see some of the people that were working at the BBC at the time, right? And I stop them and I say, how the fuck did he get off? He was Guilty as sin, banged to rights. Who the fuck was he? They said, look, just leave it, alright? I was like, no. I've just sat in there for 4 fucking months, having to listen to the utter shite coming out of that judge's mouth. Poor old Ainsley may never see again. He might have to spend the rest of his days with jizz in his eyes. At least tell me who he is. Turns out, right, this Tommy, right, turns out he had family at the BBC, higher up. And he'd always wanted to be on Ready Steady Cook. Nepotism. His family and everyone who worked there knew he was a loon. But they let him do it anyway. BBC in a nutshell. And you know what, right? Turns out this Tommy had better connections with the BBC than you may have thought. And I'll tell you why. This Tommy, a few years later, he was on the TV again. BBC host now. So they swept that under the rug. Mark, you are bang on. You are absolutely right. It was Tommy Walsh from Ground Force. Can you believe that? I didn't want to say, but I've been silent for too long. And yeah, it was Tommy Walsh from Ground Force. Ground Foreskin. Like, you know the part, you know the... always saw himself as a handyman. You know the bit in Ground Force, where the camera, like, speeds up, it goes in fast motion, and the music's like... You know that part? I heard some of the early footage on that. Was everyone was stood, everyone was moving around really quickly, right, doing all the gardening, and he's just stood in the middle of the garden having a wank. So it's like, and he's just there like, fast motion wank. I've spoken to people who worked on that. I've spoken to people who worked on that show, said he was an absolute nightmare to work with. He plays the handyman in front of the camera, but once the camera's off of him, he's just wanking into flower beds.